So this is downtown Orlando. They call that Lake Eola. NFL owners meetings are done, so I came and checked out town. Very good smash burger, which I can show you while talking about Brock Purdy. Jed York, 49ers new owner. At the owners meetings, he became the principal owner instead of just the CEO. He now has a majority share in the team. But Jed York was talking about the 49ers needing to potentially pay Brock Purdy next season. And he said that it's a good problem to have. It is indeed a good problem to have. The quarterback market has gone crazy, but quarterbacks are paid what their market worth is, and it is the most important position in football. Jed York even said that he thinks it's the most important position in professional sports. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that there are 4 $50 million quarterbacks right now and 8 $40 million quarterbacks right now. Brock Purdy's performance suggests that he's going to be paid amongst the very top of that group, of that top 12 group that I just mentioned right now, because he was number 1 in QBR last season and he was an MVP finalist. When both of those things are true, you have the ingredients of a situation of somebody that's probably going to be paid at the top of the market. Maybe not the very top. I think that there is very common knowledge right now that Patrick Mahomes should be paid at the very top of the league, and I think that the Chiefs will probably have to continue adjusting his contract to make that the case as long as his current run continues. But what Brock Purdy has done so far has positioned himself really, really well to be right there in that top 5. And we won't know what a ballpark fair asking price for Brock Purdy will be until next season. That's just the way that things are set up in the NFL with the CBA. It makes players prove themselves over a longer sample, and Brock Purdy only has 1 full season under his belt, and he needs 3 total accrued seasons. He's got 2 of those so far, technically, but he needs 3 total accrued seasons to be eligible for that contract extension. But, you know, the trajectory that he's on right now is undeniable. The people that said that Brock Purdy was just an average quarterback have been proven to be wrong. He's now has to prove that he can deliver the type of high performance that he did in 2022 and 2023 over a 3rd season and a 2nd full season in 2024. But for all intents and purposes, the number 1 QBR, the MVP finalist designation in 2023, all of those things have Brock Purdy on a trajectory to be paid over $40 million. And I think depending on what he does in 2024, he could become a $50+ million guy. The 49ers are willing to pay it. Jed York emphasized that that's the cost of doing business in the NFL. You have to accept what reality is, and the reality is that the quarterback market has indeed skyrocketed. But because the position is so important, you've got to be ready to pay when that moment comes.
I mean, I think it's a good problem when your quarterback is one of your highest paid guys on your team and in the league. So there's a lot of planning that goes into it. But, you know, again, I'm glad that we have Prague, JL, Kyle. Like, they're the ones that will figure out the details of it. And I just have to sign a check. So my part in that's pretty easy.
But kind of hard too, isn't it?
It's not hard. I mean, it's what the market is, right? Like, it's not like Brock is going to ask for something that no one has ever asked for before. You have, I don't know how many players making over $40 million as a quarterback right now. And when we signed Jimmy several years ago, you know, it was the largest deal in the history of the NFL for 3 minutes. But we were paying Jimmy 26 or 27. And you see, like, the market has it's changed. And whether I like it or not, like, that's what the market is. And you have to accept the reality of the world. And to me, the quarterback is the most important position, not just in football, but in all sports. And those guys should be paid a lot of money.
Now, it's fitting that Jed York mentioned Jimmy Garoppolo's contract, which was signed back in 2018, as an example, because looking back on it, it is an example of a particularly good contract, both for the 49ers and for Garoppolo. He was relatively unproven at the time. In fact, he had only started 7 career games, including 5 with the 49ers. By average per year, it was the largest deal in NFL history at the time, $27 million per year. But the structure of this was really important, and that's what a lot of people get wrong. when they evaluate how the 49ers paid Garoppolo. They only guaranteed salary through 2 seasons and had a very small $6.2 million signing bonus. So the 49ers maintained full optionality in years 3 to 5. They essentially opted into the contract in years 3 to 5. That's what you want. You want option power here. In all likelihood, the 49ers will not be able to execute a deal as friendly to them with Brock Purdy as they did with Jimmy Garoppolo, because when Brock Purdy is eligible to be paid next offseason, assuming he delivers another healthy and good year in 2024 for the 49ers, they're going to have to guarantee a lot more than they did to Jimmy Garoppolo. But the Garoppolo deal did not hurt the 49ers financially. It quickly became a middle-of-the-pack deal in terms of average per year, thanks to the fact that $27 million, although it was top of the market for 3 minutes, as Jed York joked, in 2018, it ranked number 12 or number 13 by 2020 and 2021. And Jimmy Garoppolo gave the 49ers top 5 to top 10 efficiency whenever he was healthy. Now, we can talk about the lack of availability and the health, which is why the 49ers ultimately did move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. But for production, that's exactly what the 49ers wanted. And even considering the availability, it is what the 49ers wanted, because they maintained the option to not keep Garoppolo throughout the entire contract. They ended up keeping him through all 5 years because he was a good player, and they needed him through those 5 years. And then they finally found a suitable replacement. It wasn't Trey Lance, it was Brock Purdy, who emerged in that 2022 season. And now the time to pay Brock Purdy will be approaching after this year. Again, it's going to cost a lot more since the quarterback market has skyrocketed, since Purdy is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, since Purdy has been an elite quarterback. We'll find out exactly how much over the course of the next year. Downtown Orlando, by the way, the smash burger that I had was at the Stubborn Mule. It was an awesome place, and I found downtown Orlando to be more scenic than I expected. You see the Spanish moss, you see the tree-lined streets. Of course, I showed you the lake at the very start. And a lot of people come to this area will just go to Disney World, which is outside of the center of town, maybe a half hour away. The owners' meetings were closer to there at the Ritz-Carlton. And I had an awesome burger out there as well, a pimento cheeseburger. I mean, there's a lot of Southern influence in Orlando. You're not quite down in Miami yet. So the food was good. The weather was warm. It still is. Can't imagine coming here a couple months later in the year. That must be really, really hot. But a successful owners' meetings for the 49ers, where Brock Purdy was on the agenda. Next year, you could be sure they're going to be talking about the QB position a lot sooner. It was funny. We talked to John Lynch, 30-minute discussion. The first quarterback question came about 21 minutes in. That definitely wasn't the case at the owners' meetings last year with Lance and Purdy's elbow injury and Sam Darnold being added to the mix, and it definitely won't be the case next year when Brock Purdy is officially eligible for a contract extension.
Like, you guys are some freaking ballers, and I hope you guys know the standard is high here, man. Standard is high. You guys have laid a foundation. You guys have had a foundation with Coach Finley, and what you guys continue to do and allow the younger guys to come in and keep it up, like, that's all you guys. So heads freaking high. You walk out because you guys put it all out there. That's all I gotta say. I love you guys, what you guys stand for, and I'm so proud to be a Cyclone and watch, because what an honor. So, heads up, freaking champions in my eyes. Love you girls.